Welcome to Teaching Truth. Arnold Palmer, arguably one of the greatest golfers in the history of the game, who won the 1961 Open Championship at Royal Birkdale and did the same again in 1962 at Royal Troon, was once invited to visit the King of Saudi Arabia. After playing a round of golf with the King asked him what gift he would like to take home with him as a memory of his visit. And being the gentleman of the game he was, and having amassed his fortune as a golfer, Arnold graciously declined, indicating to the king that to have played a round of golf with him had been an honour in and of itself. However, the king insisted, and so Arnold asked the king if he might have a golf club to add to his collection. Flying home on the plane to Orlando, he began to wonder what that golf club might look like. Would it be a driver crafted out of solid gold with his name engraved on it? Would it be a diamond-studded iron? Or might it be a sand wedge with jewels? After all, what kind of a club does the King of Saudi Arabia, one of the richest men in the world, give to one of the leading golfers and one of the richest golfers in the world? Well, a few days after arriving home, a package, though not at all in the shape of a golf club, arrived in the post. It was an envelope bearing the seal of the King of Saudi Arabia. And on opening it, Arnold Palmer found not a golf club to add to his golf bag, but the title deeds to a 500-acre golf club in the United States. What do you give to a man who has everything? Arguably, Arnold Palmer had everything, materially speaking, that you could ask for as a golfer. But the King of Saudi Arabia decided not to give him just an ordinary golf club, but the title deeds to a 500-acre golf club. As Prime Minister of Egypt, Joseph did not need gold or silver or diamonds or jewels, just as Arnold Palmer did not need another golf club or even golf club. The offer of power meant nothing to Joseph, for Joseph was sovereign over the land of Egypt. Jacob could not have offered him knowledge, for Joseph had access to all the knowledge and advanced learning of Egypt. Nor could he have been offered service, for Joseph had many servants to do as he required. What could you give a powerful, wise, and wealthy man like Joseph? A bit like Arnold Palmer. What would you give Arnold Palmer, arguably the greatest golfer at that time in the world? What would you give Joseph, arguably the greatest leader in Egypt at that time? Well, Jacob had the answer. And that answer we're going to read of today in Genesis 43, verse 11. Let's read God's word together. Then their father Israel said to them, "If it must be so, then do this. Take some of the choice fruits of the land in your bags and carry a present down to the man, a little balm and a little honey, gum, myrrh, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Take double the money with you. Carry back with you the money that was returned in the mouth of your sacks perhaps it was an oversight. Take also your brother and arise, go again to the man. And in our reflections today, we want to think briefly about the favour that was bestowed upon Joseph, the favour bestowed through these presents which were offered. Jacob tells his sons to gather the best fruits of the land. Jacob is simply saying, we're going to send this man the very best that we have. Now, when we read that list, it doesn't look very much balm, honey, spices, myrrh, pistachio nuts, almonds. It doesn't seem like a lot to us. It seems very ordinary. But in truth, this would be a lot. Why? Because remember, this was a time of severe famine. This was a time of severe famine. And therefore they were sending honey, nuts, almonds, things that they could well have had eaten. These things were commonplace to Jacob and his sons, but they represented the best that they possessed. Imagine how Joseph must have felt when he received these gifts. I mean, think about it. Joseph, 20 years, has not seen his father nor his brothers. He hasn't tasted the fruits of Canaan in many years. How the little things from his home must have gladdened and delighted his heart. See, the gift Jacob sent to Joseph was in and of itself a simple gift, a simple hamper, as it were, of goodies. But it was a hamper, a gift fit for a king, because it was the best that they had. They reached into their dwindling supplies and sent the best that they possessed to Joseph. Well, the challenge for us today is to consider our King who deserves our very best. He deserves the very best of our time. Does our King Jesus have the first part, the best part, and not just the leftovers of our time? Do we prioritize our time, our diaries for him? Our time is a great gift from the Lord. Our lives are God's gift to us. What we do with our lives is our gift to God. He deserves too the very best of our service. Our lives should be spent in serving him, not doing necessarily what we want to do, but serving him, serving his church, serving his people, serving others. And he deserves too the very best of our resources, our finances. Remember, we are only stewards of what the Lord has blessed us with. Let's not necessarily buy what we want and enjoy the fruits of all of that and give God the leftovers. God demands and deserves the very best. God demands that 10% of our income. God demands our first fruits as well as our last fruits. And what I mean by that is write God into your will, because your testimony will live on after your death. As the Christmas carol reminds us, what can I give him? Give him my heart. Let's reflect seriously today on what we can give to our King, King Jesus.